Hello everybody, welcome back or welcome to Elderflower Stitches. My name is Susie and this is my little place on the internet to talk about knitting, sewing, crafty bits and cosy things. And this is a knitting and sewing podcast in which I will show you things that I've been working on, things that I've finished, and some things that I've been buying to make things with in the future. So you can find me on Instagram as Susie, no you can't, try that again. You can find me on Instagram as Elderflower Stitches and on Blogger and Etsy under the same name. And you can also find me on Ravelry, but on there my name is Susie Petals. And I will pop a link to all of those places below. I will also put a link to, eventually, I'll get round to it, I'll pop a link to the patterns and yarn shops and all of those kind of things that I mention in the description box below. I did originally start by doing podcast show notes, but I didn't keep that up. So rather than promise those, I will just put all of the links to the things that I mention in the description box. I'm trying to decide whether I might do slightly shorter podcasts, but a bit more regularly, because when I save it up, I've got so much to cover. I've got so much to show you. So it might be quite a long video, but you might not mind that. But I'm thinking about maybe doing it every week or so, making it a bit more vloggy and kind of showing my whips and finished objects as they happen rather than saving up. But let me know which kind of format you prefer and I'll have a think about it. Yes, okay. So first of all, I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody who is watching my videos and commenting on my posts and liking things on Instagram and ordering things from my Etsy shop. I started this little creative venture about 2.5 months ago, so only back in August, and I'd thought about it for a very long time, and then I just thought I'm going to go for it. I want to start my podcast, I want to talk to people about what I'm knitting and sewing, and I want to find out what other people are making and be like an active part of this community. And I could not be more grateful for the wonderful warm welcome that I've received, so thank you from the bottom of my heart, really mean it. It's lovely to be a part of this. I feel like there's some wonderful wonderful people who are quite established in this community, who've really kind of taken me under their wing and given me great advice and helping me out, and also lots of wonderful people who are just enjoying my videos and telling me that. So yeah, thank you very much. Okay, gushing over. Finished objects. I'm going to start off with sewing. So finished objects that I've been sewing are not cheating, because I have actually sewn all of these things, but it's kind of, these are for orders. So I'm going to show you because this is what I've been working on, and this has taken up most of my sewing time, which I'm really enjoying. But I haven't really been sewing much else, just lots and lots of project bags. So here's what I've been working on. I won't show you all of them, but I'll just show you a couple. So here is one of the bags that I have been making. This is the tutus and tights one from my Back to Ballet collection. And I can't remember if I've talked about this pattern very much before, but basically I designed it from this, no peeking inside, this is my acquisitions basket, but this little crochet basket, which I've had for quite a while now, a good few years, and I just thought it was a perfect size, so I just drafted a pattern and I made it, and it's got a big pocket at the front and then little pockets at the back with binding on the edges of the pockets and drawstring. So I made some of those, that's the tutus and tights ones, and then I made a couple of other bags from fabrics that I'd picked up from the pumpkin patch in Hailsham, and a couple of fabrics I picked up from the knitting and stitching show. I love making these bags because there's just enough technical challenge, so there's like lots of bits that are just straight sewing and really careful pressing and just being very meticulous, which I really enjoy. And then towards the end there's a bit more challenge of like attaching the circular base, which is a bit more kind of fiddly and lots of pins and yeah, but a bit of interest in that way. So I really enjoy making those actually, and I'm considering putting together some kits for people who would like to make one of the bags themselves, which would be like with a all the right materials and instructions, and then maybe I could make some tutorials that would go with it. So let me know if you'd be interested in that. I'm really out of breath. It's because I ran downstairs to make myself a drink. So that's finished objects for sewing, and then I do have a little whip for sewing. I am not a keen hand sewer at all. When it comes to things like slip stitching, openings closed, and sewing on buttons, I just turn to my sewing machine every time because I'm just really not keen on it. But when Mum and I went to the knitting and stitching show, I knew that there was a stand that I wanted to go to because I have seen this person's beautiful work on Instagram, and yeah, I was like, okay, I don't like hand sewing, but maybe I'll like embroidery because at least it's pretty. I just feel like if it's functional, I just want to use my sewing machine because it's so much quicker. But this wonderful lady, I think her name is Tanya, I can't remember, but her page is called The Common Thread, and her shop is so sweet. Everything is so pretty. Look at the logo. Gosh. So I bought this kit, which is called Lavender Blue, and it contains everything you need to do your own little embroidery. And I bought like there were different size kits, there were bigger ones, smaller ones, but I bought one of the smaller ones, and it comes with all of the threads, and everything is such a fantastic attention to detail. This is the little needle case. Oh my gosh, so pretty. This is her business card. Isn't that lovely? Yeah, so it had everything in there, and I already had a hoop in the right size, so I decided that I would get started. And actually I'm quite proud of myself because I finished the stems, and her threads are so sweet. I'm really wobbly, sorry. Her threads are so sweet because it's not like one solid green colour. There's like different tones and like yellowy bits, and it's so lovely. So these are going to be the little bumblebees and daisies. Really cute. And then I thought once I've had a go at that, I might make a bigger one to hang. I might start making a little display up here and have a go at making my little Elderflower Stitches logo and putting it up on the wall. So that's that little sewing whip. I'm really proud of that because, as I said, I am not a keen hand sewer. I've got that in another one of my project bags, but this is a Christmas one. This is from my advent calendar. So, sewing done. I haven't really got any sewing plans. I was hoping to make a coat, but ultimately it's got to the point where it's so chilly now, I'm gonna have to buy one because I'm not gonna have time to make one. So I'm just gonna have to buy myself a coat. But I just struggle so much with the fit because I'm so out of proportion. My waist is a very different size to the rest of me, so I go right in and back out again. which might sound, you know, nice, but it's actually really hard work to find things that fit. So I think I might try pepperberry, because they do. Curvy people's clothes, so I might give them a go, see if they've got a coat. Right, that's sewing. Knitting. No finished objects for knitting, because the things that I have been working on are quite large projects, so none of it's finished. I've made progress with things, but not finished. I'm not going to show all of the whips from last time, like my dust of snow wrap, because I haven't been working on it, so I'll just show the whips that I've actually been working on. First of all, the Susie jumper by Along Avacana, which I'm very proud of because it's my first jumper, and I started this, when did I start this? In September, I think. And this is what I have done so far. So it's like a little cropped jumper at the moment. It is sock weight yarn held with a strand of mohair, and this top part is loom wool white peach with just plain mohair, and then I faded into point shoes, which is one of mine from the Back to Ballet one. So this is white peach from loom wool. It's so pretty, just the most beautiful colours in there, quite sort of a pinky peach. And then this is point shoes, so they complement each other nicely. They're not exactly the same, but I'm not, you know, not worried about that. Especially with the mohair, it all looks very hazy anyway, so that's the mohair. Yeah, so this is my Susie jumper. It's a raglan top down, but it's not like a completely round neck, it's slightly scooped, so you start off at the back, going front to back, and then you slowly join it up, which I was very confused by when I first started, but I kind of worked it out. And then you put the sleeves on scrap yarn and you just knit the body. So it's going really well. I'm just a bit worried because if it gives when it's blocking, it's going to end up even bigger. I don't know, maybe it's going to be, I just can't wait to wear it. Maybe it would just be a cropped jumper. Just can't wait to, oh, it's going to be so cozy. Anyway, so that's my jumper, my Susie jumper, which I've been working on, and it's coming along nicely. It's something that I take if I'm going on a long journey and I just need to like knit without having to think, because I'm just going round and round and round in stocking stitch. So that's what it's for. So I just make sure I always kind of pop it in the car when I'm going to be a passenger, or if I'm going to be sitting around for a while. And I've got it in my, this is the Ditsy pink bag with, look, it's Mabel from Gorgeous Jewels from So Sweet Violet. Her little Mabel pin. How sweet is Mabel? Oh, I love that one ear is up and one ear is down. We have a greyhound, which is like the same. So Mabel is a whippet, and we have a greyhound called Nellie, which is like the same kind of strand of breeds, if that makes sense. Whippets are like mini greyhounds. They're like skinny and get the zoomies and run around and get all silly, but they also like to snuggle on the sofa. And so yes, I love the little Mabel pin, because the way she has her ears like is just like Nellie. So yeah, very, very sweet. So that's one whip, Susie jumper. Next whip I will show you is Knit Vent. So Helen Stewart of Curious Handmaids Curious Handmade, sorry, does Knit Vent each year, which is like a Christmassy, well, it doesn't have to be Christmas, it's like an advent calendar, and you get 6 knitting patterns. But the very exciting thing is that it has already started. It starts at the beginning of November until Christmas. So it kind of extends the Advent season whilst we're all excited and waiting in, you know, what's the word? I can't think of the word. We're all waiting with bated breath for our Advent calendars, all our yarn advents and Vlogmas. Anticipation, that's it. We can start working on festive things, or feeling a bit festive, by opening our Knit Vent calendar windows. And the first pattern has been released, and it's called the Bide Shawl. It's knit in chunky yarn, which is wonderful because it comes together so quickly, and it's a triangular shawl. So it's got this lovely detail on the edge where you end up with these kind of eyelets going along, and then it's stocking stitch but with garter ridges, and then I'm just starting to get into this gorgeous lace work. But disaster, I have run out of yarn, so I have got a bag of this undyed sitting on the table behind you, ready to dye up when I am next dyeing some yarn. So I kind of have to wait patiently to work on my Bide shawl again until I have dyed up the yarn and it's dried and I've wound it, and then I can carry on with it again. So that's my Bide shawl by Helen Stewart. And the yarn, did I mention, it's a 100% baby alpaca. Oh, and it's so squishy, oh my goodness. And this is one of my colourways actually. This is Point Shoes, which this wasn't released originally with the Back to Ballet collection on this yarn base, but it is available in my Etsy shop because I knew I had to dye some up. I've offered the remainder of the pack of yarn, because it comes in a big pack. It's available if you wanted to order it as well. So I might as well dye it up at the same time. Right, I get so out of breath because I just rush through. Another project. What I really need is a pair of mittens, and you will notice that so far we have a jumper, we have a shawl, and now socks. But what I really need is mittens. So I'm not being very sensible about my knits at the moment. I have cast on some mittens, which I'll show you in a moment, but I've been procrastinating, and in the meantime knitting up a gorgeous pattern. This is from Lovely Jewels of So Sweet Violet, and this is the Brambleberry sock. However, I think my bobbles are going wrong. Help! And I think it's because I knit continental style, and I'm a bit naughty, and my purl stitches end up back to front on my needle because I do continental style, but I do my purl stitches like the cheating way, and it still works because normally then if you were to knit into it you would just knit through the back loop, which essentially is the front loop, and it's fine again. But when you're doing something like this, I think it doesn't work. So I'm going to have a go at doing the bobbles without doing my continental shortcut and see if it's any better. Or maybe I'm just not very good at bobbles, but to be honest, I don't really mind that much. I still think they look pretty, and who's going to look that closely? And you'll also notice that I have 3 rows of bubbles on the front and 2 rows of bubbles on the back, because, oh yeah, it's not going to be the front and the back, is it? It's going to be the sides. No, it's going to be the front. No, it's okay. Because I didn't realise that you do the bubbles all the way around, not because of the pattern, because this pattern is lovely and clear, but because I wasn't reading it. So I let go of my contrast colour and carried on knitting across the back, and then suddenly went, oh, I was meant to carry on doing bubbles across the back. So, whoops, there we go, silly me. Yes, and I'm knitting that in this beautiful colourway from Dandelion and Dogwood, and it is called Bluebell Bells, and it's like a greyish purpley blue with some nice little speckles of darker blue, but it really captures the gorgeous colour of bluebells, which are lovely. And near where we live there's somewhere called the Bluebell Railway, which is an old steam railway which you can still go on, and in like June time there's lots of beautiful bluebell woodland which the train goes through, and you just see a carpet of this colour just as far as the eye can see in beautiful broad-leaved British woodland. Gorgeous. So that's what I'm doing the main colourway as, and then I'm doing the little berries with just a pink that I dyed up, which I called my birthday nails. Yes, so that's brambleberry socks in another one of my project bags. I made up all the samples for the shop, and then I was like, well, it's rude not to use them. This is another one from my advent calendars. Okay, like a little army of project bags now. Okay, now, as I mentioned, I desperately need some mittens. However, I'm successfully avoiding making mittens, as you have seen through all of these projects. So I decided to cast on a pair of mittens, and I'm using some 100% superwash merino Aran, which I just dyed up in point shoes, with Flossie in point shoes, and I'm holding them together, which looks super gorgeous. And I just cast on and started twisted 1x1 rib. However, it's way too big. I did 40 stitches, but it's too big. I mean, yeah, that's gonna be too big, because I don't want them to go too far up my arm. Although I don't know, over a cardigan, I should probably just find a pattern. What I was going to do is just make a little cuff, like not even a thumb gusset, just like a sleeve extension that will just go up to here. So just like an inch of ribbing, stocking stitch, and an inch of ribbing, just to like, yeah, just to put on, but still have my fingers out. That might be all right, you know. Oh, I'm just going to go for it. So I'm just going to do probably 3 more rounds of 1x1 twisted rib, and then just knit for like 6 inches, and then another inch of 1x1 twisted rib, and then I've got some mittens of some description. And whilst I'm then knitting a pair of proper mittens, which I think I'm going to do the tinsel mitts pattern, I've at least got a little cuff that will keep my hand warm. Yeah, there we go. Oh, I'm drinking, by the way, from my gorgeous little kitty cat mug. This is from Sainsbury's, can you believe? My favourite kind of autumn drink, which is hot chocolate with a couple of teaspoons of Horlicks. It's like drinking Maltesers. Don't blame me if you end up drinking loads of it, because it's delicious. Very, very nice. Okay, are you ready for acquisitions? Got my little basket of goodies here. Right, let's start with the cutest of the cutest of the cutest. So I absolutely love to just trawl through Etsy, finding cute things and I just search for things that I know I like. So like, I love blue tits, so I'll just search blue tit and I'll have a look through. I might find cross stitch patterns or pretty mugs or different things like that, and I almost use it like Pinterest, and I'll look through and find things. Sometimes it'll give me ideas for things I can make. Sometimes I find things and think, oh gosh, I need one of those. And I saw this little blue tit and I fell in love. He's just beautiful. Look at his little face. Oh my gosh. And like, he's so chubby, and but all of the colourings are so accurate, and he's got a little tail and little wings and little feet. Oh my gosh, I just fell in love. And this is from a shop called At the Patch Creations. I think her name is Vicky. She's on Etsy, but she's also got lots of things on Folksy as well. So I ordered this, fell in love, and then I messaged her like, oh my gosh, I love the blue tits. What else do you do? Because I love birds. And on her page, I found a little robin redbreast. Look at him. His little wings. Oh my goodness, so precious. And this tiny little wren. Look. I mean, the attention to detail is just amazing. Little tail. So sweet. She also had a gorgeous barn owl, which I ordered, but I gave it to my mum for her birthday because she loves owls and I couldn't resist, so probably going to end up getting another one. But I think these are all my little flock are going to go on the Christmas tree. So in love with them, they're so sweet, and I love their eyes are so tiny, but the owl, the barn owl, has got much bigger ones, but it's just like the perfect proportion to all of their features. Look at the little beak. Oh my god, I can't. It's too cute. Adorable. Okay, she also does amazing like pet ones as well. Beautiful. I think she probably would do custom orders as well. So lovely. What else? Okay, yarn. So I have oh, I've forgotten something. I need to go and get that in a moment. I've been trawling Etsy, looking at hand dyed yarns as per usual, seeing what takes my fancy, and I found this shop called Hook and Light, which I've never heard of before, but I think they are quite established. And I bought this gorgeous yarn called Sweet Dreams, and it's 80% Corriedale, 20% nylon, and it's a 4-ply, and it's got some of my favourite colours in. So I've got some neutral bits, lovely lavender and pinks, and like, oh, speckly pinks. Don't you love it when you're knitting up and you get one of these bits and then you just get this little like flash of bright pink stitch? So pretty. So that's probably going to be a pair of socks. It's quite, I would say it's maybe not quite as smooth as a regular like superwash merino. It's got a bit more of a rustic feel to it, but it'll still make a lovely pair of socks. I just probably wouldn't have it as a cowl or a, yeah, probably not as something around my neck, but probably okay for gloves or a hat or something. Next up, I've been eyeing this up for a long time. So lovely Biff Sugar yarns, and this is the Beatrix sock set. That's Biff Sugar yarns, Beatrix, the sock set. So it comes with this gorgeous bright pink mini and this absolutely stunning skein of Beatrix, which has got bright pinks, powdery pinks, nice kind of toffee colour, speckles, and it's just beautiful and so neat. I mean, how on earth does she get her skeins to look that beautiful? Amazing. So this is 4-ply, 75/25 superwash merino and nylon. So it's a 100-gram skein and then a little 20-gram mini, which is very, very lovely. So I think that will probably be a pair of socks. And I saw somebody's sock pattern had a small gusset and then a short row heel, so you could do a contrast heel, because I love doing the Go Day heel from the Soul Sister sock pattern from Amy and Jules, but it makes it harder to do a contrast heel because you can only do the heel flap in a contrast colour. I've got a feeling it was actually one of Jules's patterns. I watched it in somebody's video the other day and they had a small gusset and then a contrast heel. So I think I'm probably going to track that pattern down and do that with the Beatrix sock set. Then from Cozy Barn Yarns, who, I'm sorry everything is covered in mohair, it's all been in the same basket. Cozy Barn Yarns, and this is called Jelly Bean, and it's a superwash merino, 20% nylon, 5% stellina. So it is this yummy pinks and peaches and corals with sparkly bits. So I'm probably going to wind this and put it aside in a special bag or a little box ready for Christmas Eve cast on. It feels appropriate to have something a little bit sparkly for Christmas Eve. And it's so, I mean, there's so much detail in there already with the colours. It's even like gold and yellowy bits that I think it would just make a gorgeous pair of vanilla socks. Or, got any plain mohair? A snuggle down cowl. Oh, can you imagine that? I wonder what the stellina is like against your face. Has anyone ever done a shawl with stellina in? And how did it turn out? Was it okay next to your face? Oh, yes. Wouldn't that be sweet? Okay. So many ideas. I'm seeing so many gorgeous snuggle down cowls on everyone's Instagram pages, and I'm just like, I need to make some mittens. I need to work on the things I've already cast on because I've got so many whips, but I'm so tempted. Naughty, naughty. One more thing, and I can't show you. So I ordered some yarn from Nora George, but I can't show you because it's not for me. I'm doing a swap with gorgeous Zoe, Zoe Nichols from Felicity Yarn Studio. Hello Zoe. She is so lovely, and we have the same taste. Just everything she shows in her podcast, I'm like, oh, that's such a nice yarn, I would make that. And we just have such similar taste. And we started talking about doing a swap, and I'd actually chosen something before she had said that one of her favourite yarn dyes was Nora George. So, I mean, that just confirmed it for me. So I can't show you the yarn, but maybe you'll see it on Zoe's podcast soon. It's very gorgeous. But I did treat myself to one of Tracy's hand balms, and this, I got the Sense of Calm one, which I won't open because I've used it, so it's all in a bit, it's all like, you know, looking a bit loved now, but it's completely natural ingredients. So coconut oil, beeswax, shea butter, and then just essential oils, and it smells incredible. So that's lovely. Yeah, I did get something else as well. From Hook and Delight, I picked up a natural dyeing kit, which has all of the ingredients you need, including a skein of yarn to dye up your own yarn with natural ingredients. And I chose the Madder Root set, which gives you a kind of pinky red colour. It's really sweet. I'll pop a picture on my Instagram or something because it's tucked away at the moment. So I'm very excited to give that a go. Last year for Christmas, my mother-in-law bought me a book called Botanical Colours at Your Fingertips, which is a book all about dyeing yarns with natural ingredients, and fabrics as well, which I'm yet to try. I'm really keen to grow some flowers at the allotment next year that I could use for yarn dyeing. I know on Gardener's World, Monty had a go at creating a yarn, not a yarn dyeing, but like a dyeing bed. That sounds awful, doesn't it? Like a natural plant dyeing. Such a horrible word, isn't it? And then my gorgeous friend Lindsay, hello Lindsay if you're watching, for my birthday, which was last month, we met up and went for tea at the Grand Hotel, which we do just now and then. We go for tea and we take our knitting and stitching along, and we just have a good old chat and a cup of tea. And she bought me a beautiful book called Indigo, which is all about natural dyeing as well. So I was quite inspired and thought I'd have a go with this kit first because it's got everything I need in there. I don't have to work out recipes and things like that. And then once I've had a go, I might try sourcing my own ingredients and maybe even growing some of them too. Yeah, so that's very exciting. And then this arrived in the post today. Can you hear the Christmas bell? Lovely Nicola from Bumble Stitches and I are doing a little swap, and my swap has arrived. Nicola's swap is in the post as we speak, but we decided that we would wrap it up and put it under the Christmas tree. So she's put a little Christmassy bell on there. How lovely. Thank you so much, Nicola. I'll have to resist temptation. I'm going to tuck it away with my advent calendars, and then when I get the Christmas tree, that will be the first present going under there, along with my little birds on the, that's decorations. So exciting. So thank you very much, Nicola, and you will get yours in the post very soon. Yeah, very exciting. What's next? Shop news. So since I last podcast, we had a little exciting yarn party. My yarn launch happened, the Back to Ballet collection, which I've got a few examples of here. It was so popular and I was just blown away once again. I was so touched by how many people got in touch to say lovely things or order something or just kind of give me encouragement on my new little venture. So wow, thank you everyone who got involved, just wonderful. And then after the pre-order listings closed, had people messaging and asking if they could still get hold of things. So I decided to relaunch, and if you're following me on Instagram, you will probably already know this because I can't stop talking about it. I'm so proud of my yarns, so apologies. But if you're not on Instagram, then you won't have seen, so I thought I'd just show you a couple of the yarns. You can go back and watch the video called Yarn Launch Back to Ballet Collection, and you can see all of the yarns, which are now all available again, along with the project bag and notions pouch. And it's on a kind of made to order basis now, so I've put 2 to 3 weeks for the turnaround, but I've got it down to about 2 weeks now. But I like to give myself a bit of leeway because I do work full-time as a class teacher, so if something important comes up at school, I have to be able to pause and not be like letting people down with delivery dates. So I put 2 to 3 weeks, but it's more like 2. So there's 2 colourways which are called point shoes and pirouettes. So it's all themed around ballet because I recently finally went back to ballet class after having a break for quite some time. So I didn't do ballet when I was little. You can listen to the whole story in the video. I didn't do it when I was little, but as an adult I decided that I wanted to learn. And then I had an injury, sprained my ankle at work, and I couldn't go to ballet, and I kind of gave up. And I just recently was like, I loved it, I want to go back. So I did, and it inspired my Back to Ballet collection. So there's point shoes, which is a lovely peachy blush, and this is the point shoes mini set. And there is pirouettes, which is a really sweet soft pink, and this is the pirouettes mini set. So you get 5 minis, and it's like a fade from really light pink to bright pink. So there's a mini set on sock yarn, and then a full skein on sock yarn, pirouettes and point shoes. And then probably my favourite ever yarn base is called Opulence, and it's alpaca, silk and cashmere, and it is so squishy and soft, and it's got this lovely sheen from the silk, and it's all fluffy. It's actually, that's not even just where it's been in the bag with the mohair, it has got, from the alpaca and the cashmere, it has got this like hazy fluff to it. But this is pirouettes, and this is point shoes. This is slightly pinker and this is peachy. And then there's Flossy, which is like a mohair base, and it's available in both colours as well. And then Plump, which is DK. So this is point shoes, which is lovely tonal, peachy, and pirouettes. So that's like a whistle stop tour. As I mentioned earlier on, the chunky base is available, but only a couple of skeins. It's just what I've got left from dyeing up more for my bide shawl. So that's kind of a one-off. I won't be able to offer that base on a regular basis. Base on a basis. Oh, right. Anybody else just get like really out of breath doing this? I think when you have a conversation, the other person talks and it gives you a chance to breathe. That doesn't happen with podcasting. It's just me talking, and I feel like I need to fill all the space with rambling on. Two new and exciting colourways. These are one-of-a-kind colourways inspired by two of my favourite things. The first inspired by one of my favourite flowers, which is this lovely one here, Gypsophila. So this is the Gypsophila colourway on sock yarn, and it's got this lovely soft leafy green and buttery yellow and creamy, some more yellow there, and then little speckles of peachy pink, because this was inspired by a photo I took of this Gypsophila in the windowsill, and in the background you can see everyone's cosy little red brick houses, and I just thought, well, I need to include that in the colourway. So you've got like little speckly bits in there. There's only a couple of these because I did launch them on Instagram, so some of them have gone already, and it's just like a one of a kind. They're all a bit different. Some have got more green, some have got more yellow, but they're all pretty. So there's a couple of them still on my Etsy shop. So that's Gypsophila. It's 75/25 superwash merino and nylon 4-ply. And then this is another of my favourite things. My favourite little kitty cat, Beatrice, is so beautiful. She's a ragdoll crossed with Persian, so she's got like grey bits and toffee bits and white, lots of white bits, especially her tummy, and then little pink nose and pink paddies. So this is the Beatrice colourway. So it's almost not there, but a very pale grey patches and toffee and caramel, and then little pink splashes for her pink nose and pink toes, which somebody on Instagram, I put up the picture of her little feet and she just replied with beans, which is so sweet. Toe beans, I love that, because they do look like little baked beans, but they're pink. Anyway, she's adorable, little sassy Beatrice. So this is her Beatrice colourway. Yeah, again, it's one of a kind, so some have got more toffee, some have got more grey. Most of them, the grey is like really, really light, really pale grey, and then yeah, pink little splashes, and it's the same base, 75/25 of 4-ply. Ta-da! I think that's everything for shop news. I'm thinking of offering a little extra special Christmassy package where you can get a Christmassy bag, like the Advent bags, blue or green, with a skein of yarn of your choice, sock yarn, well, it could be any yarn, I suppose, and some little festive treats as a Christmas Eve cast on box. So you would get a bag and some yarn and some festive goodies. So for those of you who missed out on the advent calendars but still wanted to get a hold of a bag, or who maybe didn't want to do an advent calendar but wanted a little festive treat, so you could open the box on Christmas Eve and then you could have a little Christmas Eve cast on treat. Let me know if you would be interested. It would be quite limited because it would only be, I've only got a little bit of the fabric left over from making the bags, and I've only got a couple of these, the little star key rings which go on the Christmassy bags, so there would only be a few of them. So let me know if you'd be interested. You could of course top it up if you wanted more than one skein of yarn with it, you could always put a few more in. But I'll need to get round to that a bit sharpish because it's November. It's the 12th of November, more to the point, which is crazy. Yeah, wow. Thank you so much for bearing with me. Congratulations for getting this far. I'm proud of you. I've been rambling on. This post work, so today is Tuesday. I sat down to record this yesterday and my word finding skills were atrocious. I just couldn't remember what anything was called, who anyone was. I was just tired, and I edited it and then thought, oh my goodness, this is not the version of me that needs to go on the internet. So yes, I gave up and decided I'd try again today, so I hope that this is a better version. I've remembered reasonably well what things are called and who everyone is. So yes, better. I think that's it. I've got a little bit of footage to pop at the end here of mine and Lindsay's lovely tea at the Grand and our little stitching session, and she shows us through a lovely little box of crochet that she brought with her, and her wonderful blanket. Now I can't remember what she said the blanket was called, but it was something to do with the summer sky, and it's got all these beautiful colours in, so you'll see that as well. Yeah, gosh, thank you so much for bearing with me. I hope to see you very soon. Let me know what you think about a more regular podcast that's maybe a bit shorter rather than like a monthly hour-long epic. Let me know what you think about project bag kits that have all the instructions and tutorial to go with it. That might be something I think about in the new year. And also let me know about a Christmas Eve cast on box, whether you would be interested in that. Exciting things. Lovely. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you very soon.